Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in Amrutanubhava, chapter 5, chapter 6, words devalued, OV number 95. In 94, we are seeing the example was mirror was taken, I think, and then even if the mind's agitations are because of I, to the extent that independence is discovered even from the upaya, means the method, the sadhana, to that extent one is near to one's own essential nature. By no other means or pramana, by no other effort or spiritual practice can the truth be established. For the truth is beyond the known and the unknown, beyond gaining and not gaining, and beyond losing or not losing. So in other words, truth cannot be known. Because our approach to the truth, our search for the truth is through the mind. And mind is temporary. Mind is a phenomena. Mind is not permanent. Mind is changing. And therefore, whatever is coming and going, where that which is phenomenal can never know the truth. Then how do we come to know? You have to accept that you are the truth without a thought. Our obsession is that I am thinking, that I have to work it out, that I have to do sadhana, that I have to do something in order to be the truth, be the self. This obsession with doing, we have to go beyond. We have to go beyond doing and undoing. Anyatra dharmad, anyatra dharmad, anyatra asmat krita kritat, anyatra bhuta cha bhavya cha, yat tat pashyati tadvada. The self that we are, it's other than right and wrong. It's other than cause and effect. Right and wrong is in the intellect. Cause and effect, world is the effect, vision is the cause. Senses are the effect, mind is the cause. Mind is the effect, I is the knower of the effect. And what is I? When our attention comes to the I is the reflected consciousness. Come to the source, which is none other than the reflection of the original. So this become beyond cause and effect. So I am beyond cause and effect. Where is cause and effect? Only at the instrumental level, phenomenal level. Krita, krita, akruta. Self is beyond doing and not doing, meaning it is beyond doing activity and no activity, which is silence. It is beyond silence. See, otherwise, if we become focused on silence and want silence, initially we must. Initially we must. So what is silence in the initial stages? Going back to the cause. But that all has been, that's part of Bhagavad Gita, it's not part of here. Silence is only at the deep sleep state level. Silence is only at the samadhi state. But isn't it your experience that activity of the thoughts, and between two thoughts there is silence? So continuously you are aware that there is inactivity and activity. You are aware that there is in-breath and out-breath, and between the two there is no activity, there is silence. So who are you? Are you because of breathing, or are you because of not breathing? Are you dependent on both? Are you dependent on the manifestation of the mind, or are you dependent on the unmanifestation of the mind to know yourself? See, you are the independent one. You are not dependent on anything or anyone. You are not dependent on thoughts, you are not dependent on supports, you are not dependent on any experience, not dependent on any alamban. You are as you are. But they said, Kathopanishad, you chant Om, it is the symbol of the truth. Yes, do it. That exercise, yes, it is the sound of the creation on one hand and represents the truth on the other. But do it, find out for yourself. Don't just accept it, for you will practice it only when you have trust, you have faith, you have reverence in the Upanishad, that if they are given it, rather than find reasons why they said that and now they are saying it cannot be known by the changing, I am changing, Om is also changing, I am chanting it. You are chanting it, but in its essence it is the unstruck sound. Get to that point. Get to the origin of the Om. You will find out. So, by no other means or pramana, by no other effort, also bhutacha bhavyacha, nor by past or future, you cannot come to know the truth. You cannot be the truth from remembrance, from memory. You cannot be the truth by expectations of the future, that now I am here and I have studied the Upanishad, I have studied Amrutanubhava, and after this I will come to realize myself. Forget it. It's here and now. It is you. But we keep appropriating it on the past. What did I study? What did Bhagavad Gita say? What did Upanishad say? What is Jnaneshwar Maharaj saying? It is same or not same? Oh, last meditation was so wonderful. You want to repeat it? It is not based on past, nor is it based on the future expectations that one day I will come to realize. It is right here and now. See? And thus, so truth is not a result of any effort. The truth is not result of any sadhana. Truth is self-established. Truth is self-existing. Truth is independent. And that truth, I am. Therefore, the word is totally helpless. Manhauni atma atmalabhe nandaune shabda shobhe yeil aisa na labhe Umasu ghevo. Therefore, the word cannot have the glory of having made the Atman gain the Atman and thus helpful in any way. What are we doing here? It's only a conversation. Conversation is happening by way of words. We chant the Upanishads, all these verses we are chanting, all the speech that is coming out, it's nothing but words. And the words cannot give the glory of having made the Atman gain. So, if by chanting the name of Om and going through Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para, where the Om also goes back to its source and silences itself. And there we come to realize ourselves, hey, I am the one. Oh, it is because of Om I am the one? No, Om is the one. So you are not a result of anything. You are not an effect of anything. Not because you did this, because you chanted Om, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Therefore you realized yourself. This is wrong conclusion. You are self-established. You are not dependent on anything or anyone. So therefore, word cannot take the accolades to say that I revealed the Atman to you. It doesn't. It cannot. And therefore, word is impotent. It cannot do anything for anyone because it is the part of the phenomena. As long as you think you are a phenomena, as long as you think, the seeker thinks that he is body, he is brother, sister, he is part of this world, that he is born, that one day he will die, that he is a seeker, that he wants to realize. As long as some itch is there, desire to liberate is there, that desire can only be in the phenomena. Till then you have to do sadhana. And what is the sadhana? Sadhana is not to make the self reveal itself. Sadhana is done to remove all the obstacles that come between me and myself, you and yourself. For that the sadhana is done. Sadhana is not done to realize. Yes, those words are used. Do the sadhana to realize yourself. But when you come to the crux, then you realize, and we are at that in Amrutanubhava, words are only utilized, mantras are only utilized only to remove wrong understanding, only to remove our identification with the phenomena. Words are only used so that mind can become silent. When the waves become silent, you don't create the full moon. Yesterday, did you see the full moon on Hanuman Jayanti? Beautiful. So much light because the sky was quite clear. I went for a walk at 9 o'clock for 1 hour. Oh, इतना सुंदर था कल. So when the waves in the ocean or in the lake, they quieten down, you don't create the reflection of the moon. It was already there. And what are the waves? The words. and you remove, you from many words, you are going to one word, Om, and then that also becomes silent. And then you're saying, because of the words, the moon revealed, waves, the moon revealed. Because of the words, the self revealed. That is a wrong conclusion. It is not so. It is not so. Therefore, the word cannot claim any glory for helping the Atma gain the Atma. The words cannot claim the responsibility or the glory that because of me, the self realized the self. That means the self, I realized myself because of some word. No. The word has no entry where Atma Jnana is concerned, where the self-knowledge is concerned, the word has no entry. Because that self-knowledge, even though it supports the phenomena of the words, it is independent, it is self-existing, it's self-knowing, it's self-illuminating. Concluding the chapter, Evam madhyan hi chidivi tamadhadi na divodavi taisi ubhayata padavi Shabda zali. As the lamp lighted during the midday is neither useful for removing the darkness, as there is no darkness, nor for illuminating the daylight, as it is not necessary, and thus is totally useless, so is the case of word with reference to ignorance and Atman. In short, word cannot remove ignorance and word cannot reveal the self. Why it cannot remove ignorance? Word cannot remove ignorance because it is the product of ignorance. It is the effect of ignorance. Therefore, how can effect remove the cause? Not possible. When we chant the mantra, Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para, are we not removing the disturbance from the mind? Are we not becoming silent? If you are reaching the silence without knowing the self, then you are in ignorance, then you are in deep sleep, then you are in void, then you have given validity to absence, nothingness. That absence, that nothingness, that ignorance, that is the cause, that is the womb for all multiplicity, for all the thoughts. So yeah, you can go to silence, but have you known the self? That you are other than the silence and the words. So words cannot reveal the self on one hand, because self is self-existing, and the words cannot remove ignorance. Why? Words themselves are the effect of ignorance, of incomplete knowledge. In short, that is what this verse is saying. If you understand it, good. If not, enjoy the confusion. Like a lamp lighted during midday, the example taken here is of a lamp, of a candle light, or this bulb which is there. Can it remove darkness? There is no darkness here. So what darkness will it remove? Can it give light? Already light is there. What light will it give? Exactly same situation is of the world. Like a lamp lighted during midday, which is of no use either in removing the darkness because there is no darkness, or in illumining the daylight because it is not necessary. In the same way, the word is also of no use either in eliminating the darkness of ignorance because darkness is not, nor in illumining the truth because it is not needed. The word can really do nothing as far as self realization is concerned. Understand, when you say that the word is also of no use either in eliminating the darkness of ignorance. Understand the definition of ignorance or darkness. What is it? That which is not is darkness, absence, nothingness. That which is not is ignorance. So, how can you remove that which is not? And who is removing? The grandchild of ignorance, word. How can the word is also result of that which is not? Appearing, phenomena. At the matter level, how can the effect remove the phenomenal word? How the phenomenal word can remove the phenomenal cause, the ignorance or the absence? How can it? How could you remove that which does not exist? Stupidity, hai na? Listen to the words. So, when we listen to these words, फिर करें क्या? Then what should we do? This is the thought that comes to our mind. Krita, krita, akrita. What is that which is beyond doing and not doing? This obsession that I have to do something, this has to go out of your head. Doing is only for the ego. Ego works as karta and bhokta, doer and enjoyer. So whenever this question comes, what do I do now? Understand, ego is speaking. You have taken a personality. You have identified with that which is not. You are identified with the phenomena. And because of our training, again the question comes, then what sadhana is there to be? Again, sadhana means doing. Can you be silent? Can you unclutch yourself from doing and not doing? Yes, to some extent in the relative realm, the doing, when we do Vaikhari, Madhyama, Pashyanti, Pashyanti is the non-doing and Vaikhari and Madhyama are the doing. So yes, through doing you can come to non-doing. But you cannot remove non-doing. Through the words, through the chanting of the words, you can come to silence. But by the words, you cannot remove the silence. But when the silence does come, and that is necessary, then we must migrate from the silence. Or in spite of the silence, we must recognize we are the illuminator, we are the essence. Without me, silence has got no meaning. I am the witness of the doing and not doing. And how does this come about? Without any thought. This is reiterated आता अविद्या नाही पणे, नाही तयेते नाशणे, आत्मा सिद्धूची मा कोणे, काय साधावे. Now the ignorance being non-existent cannot be destroyed, and the self being self-asserted and self-effulgent need not be revealed by any word. We have already covered that topic. The ignorance being non-existent, absence, nothing, cannot be destroyed because it is not. And self cannot be revealed because it is self-knowing, it is self-asserted, it is self-illumined. So nothing else can illuminate the self. Therefore, words are important there. Because avidya is non-existent, it cannot be destroyed. The Atma, which is self-existent and self-asserting, need not be revealed by any word. Why need not? Cannot reveal any word. No word can reveal the truth. And that is why the last two chapters, Satchidananda Khandana and Shabda Khandana, both of them, for us, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Satchit Ananda is Atma, is the self, is the reality. Even the word reality, which represents the reality, that also has got no meaning. It is only to counter the non-reality, unreality. Sat is used for asat, to cancel asat. So in this manner, all these words, even how beautiful they are important in revealing the truth, because the truth is self-revealed. It is self-existing. The real study of the scriptures leads automatically to the silencing
Alert from calendar, Easter Monday.
Today is Monday or Sunday? Sunday ना? Easter Monday कैसे आ रहा है इस पे? Why is it showing Easter Monday on the laptop? Confusing. God is confused. Huh? The real study of the scriptures leads automatically to the silencing of the mind. Remember, what is silencing? The phenomena is becoming silenced. When you do japa, what happens? The phenomena, the mind, becomes silenced. Leads automatically to the silencing of the mind and the speech. Yes, mind and speech. Mind grossified is speech. One becomes so much introverted. That there is no struggle to withdraw from the worldly involvements. Withdrawal and merging within the self becomes casual and easy. Withdrawal and merging with the self. Withdrawal of the mind, and just as if there is no breeze, automatically the waves on the ocean calm down. Where the oceans calm down, automatically, without any effort on anyone's part, the moon reveals, the full moon reveals. Exactly the same way, through study of scriptures, through japa, through whatever sadhana, whatever you are doing, naturally we come to the silence, and in that silence, the self which was already presents itself. See, that is not to say that that you should not do the chanting. Oh, it says you should not do don't chant the word, don't study the scriptures. No, you must do that, because you still consider yourself to be the person. And as long as you think you are a seeker, some sadhana must be done. For what? For becoming silent. The phenomena has to become silent. And for us, what is phenomena? It is not, world is only an effect of that. Word is also an effect of that. What is phenomena? Mind is the phenomena. So where is the silence required? Silence is required in waking and dream. Both of them have to be silenced. For that is the process of Vaikhari is the waking, Madhyama is the dream. And when the silence begins, when everything, all the disturbances are quietened, don't go to sleep. We are used to that. The moment mind becomes silent, go patang, knock off into bliss. Into bliss. You are bliss. Continuing the thought, ऐसा उभय पक्षी बोलू न लाहे नखी हरपला प्रलयोदकी ओघ जैसा. In this way, the word being absolutely useless and unworthy in case of both ignorance and self-realization disappears like the river in the great deluge. See, yesterday when I was walking and I saw the full moon and I kept looking at it. It was quite clear sky, but I could not see any stars. Why? Those stars may be bigger than the moon also in their original size. But why were they not available to me? Why could I not see them? Because the deluge of moonlight, the moonlight was so bright that in its brightness, starlight was not available. Similarly, all the specifications of water like well, lake, river, creek, nala, ponds, estuaries, all these, the dams in the rivers, in the backyards of the farms. Once the deluge comes, all the names that I just took were nothing but specific forms of water. But when the deluge comes, what happens? All specificity merges into the non-specificity. And what is that non-specificity? It is the water and water alone. When the deluge comes, when the pralaya comes, you can't see the specific expressions of water. When the sleep comes, you can't see the specific expressions of father, mother, daughter, sister. You can't see the space, air, fire, water, earth. You cannot see the various gods. You cannot see anything. Why? The deluge of sleep, it's homogeneous. It covers everything. That is the pralaya. But that is inert pralaya. Here we are talking about positively. So here it says what? In this way, word being absolutely useless and unworthy in case of both ignorance and self-realization disappears like the river in the great deluge. So what is the river represented here? The river of thoughts. You must have heard this statement many times. Mind is a river of thoughts. What are you doing? Vaikhari madhyama pashyanti para. So that huge river of thoughts, it disappears into the deluge of self-realization. Just like the Akasha Ganga. Akasha Ganga, the Milky Way, could not be seen due to the deluge of light of the moon. Similarly, the light of the self, when it shines forth, in its light, nothing is available. Nothing is cognized as specific. What is your specificity? Your individuality, the thoughts. What are the thoughts about? I am the body, I am the mind, I am the panchakoshas, I am the waker, I am the dreamer, I am the sleeper, I am the seeker, I am meditating. All this is gone. Because with whatever sadhana we were doing, the mind reached the silence. In that silence, the silence was pervaded or is always pervaded by the conscious principle. Just as when the waves are there, you are unable to see the moon, but once the waves quieten down, the moon is self-revealed. And then whether waves come or not, you will not forget that the moon is there. Thus, in either way, the word cannot even touch the nail. That is a little bit. It is not the slightest importance either in the field of ignorance or of the self. Then what happens to the word? In the deluge, the two words, river and ocean, have no meaning, because in the deluge there is only water. Totality also has lost its importance, and individuality has also lost its importance. The specific expressions of water have lost their importance, and the total expressions like the oceans and the rivers, they have also lost their importance. Then what happens to the word? In the deluge, the two words, river and ocean, have no meaning, because there is neither ocean nor river. Their separate existences have been merged in the flood of the deluge. So also, in the absolute truth, words like Atma, Anatma, knower, known, Satchidananda, all of them disappear. Only I without any criteria exists. Meaning, I without any thought, I without any quality, I without any specificity. And who is that I? You are that I. Where is that I? Everywhere. When? Now. What about the next now which is coming? Every moment is now. It continues. It doesn't, I cannot go away. Not I as a thought. Thought is a specificity. Thought is specific. It comes and goes. But when it says I without a criteria, means I without any specifics. So therefore, when we say I think, therefore I am, or I am in spite of thinking, that you have to remember that you are. So word has no function at all. Ata bola bhagukahi asane jayachya thai arthata tari nahi nipatuniya. Thus we have concluded that the word can play no part in both the fields, namely of destruction of ignorance and self-realization. And thus, therefore, the word has no meaning at all. How much more we can talk about it? A few examples are given in the next two OVs. आज कंप्लीट कर देते हैं. भागुल आला म्हणते बोलणे जैसे रीते का आकाश बोल वोळबते तळहाती. It says, as the statements the goblin has come or the sky is hanging on the palm are meaningless, although they are said. You use the words sunrise and sunset, it is meaningless because sun never rises, sun never sets. You use the word blue sky, but the sky is never blue. Similarly, these examples of goblin has come or the sky is hanging on the palm, तैसी निरर्थके जल्पे होऊन या सपडपे शोभती जैसे लेपे रंगावरी. As the clothes and colors in a painting are meaningless, so also the words along with their meaning etc. are worthless. Just as the people on the painting or in a movie, people in the movie, the space, air, fire, earth in the movie, the plants, trees, past, future, the body of the people, the clothes that they are wearing, the cars they are driving, the cycles they are riding, all that is meaningless because it's existing in its own absence. Similarly, the words are existing in their own absence. Don't be obsessed with them. When we are not obsessed with them, then maybe the words will lead to silence. But if you are obsessed with the words, then very difficult. Mind will keep on thinking. When the statement the goblin has come is made to the child, what does it mean? It has no meaning. See, I'm holding the space in my palm, nor has this statement any meaning. It is similar to the beautiful clothes or food painted in the picture which have no utility either for wearing or for satiating hunger. When I was in Kanyakumari, there the sun, you can see the sunrise also and sunset also. This is at the tip, southernmost tip of India, Kanyakumari. And we were standing there, we went to see the sunset. And we were seeing the sunset. I just put my palm out like this and the sun is sitting on my palm. And you take a picture. Wonderful picture. Then I made a heart like this and I put it and the sun was inside the heart shape. Beautiful picture. But what is the meaning of it? Is it a possibility? No possibility. And yet, the picture is showing it. So, movie is seen, you cry, you laugh, you enjoy it because you are identified with that which does not exist. Then what is the movie? Phenomena. Can phenomena express itself without the screen? Your attention is not on the screen. Your attention is on the phenomena, on the pictures, on the changes. When will the screen become available to you? When the phenomena stops, you put the TV off, the screen of the TV becomes available. When the movie is on, it's not available. See? Same thing is with us also. When the screen of the mind is always on, the picture, imagination, words, past, present, future, waking, dreaming, deep sleep, waking and dreaming is going on. This is the movie. See? but it has got no meaning. We have given it meaning because of our identification. My pillow, my cat, my dog, my relations, my past, my future, my survival, my duty, my realization, my sadhana. All this is happening in the phenomena. Do it, but don't get caught up in it, because you are already that which you are seeking. Huh. See, I am holding the space in my palm, nor has this statement any meaning. It is similar to the beautiful clothes or food painted in the picture, which have no utility either for wearing or for satiating hunger. The movie on the screen cannot fill up, or in the dream, it cannot. The food in the mind, imagination of food, does not satiate your hunger. Imagination of clothes or the clothes on the TV screen do not cover you up. एवं शब्दैक जीवने बापुडी ज्ञाने अज्ञाने नाचपणे वने विचित्रीची जैसी. The words knowledge and ignorance are living in words only. Poor things, they have as much value as the forest in the picture. What is the value of forest in the picture? Zero value. So who is poor? These words which we are so, I don't want to be ignorant, I want to know myself. We must shun the ignorance and we must pursue the knowledge. Or ignorance is deep sleep and knowledge is dream and waking. What is the value of these two words? Knowledge and ignorance? Here he says it has the same status as that of a forest in the painting or the TV screen. Why? You cannot go for a walk in the forest. You cannot smell the forest. You cannot feel the bushes and plants. All you can do is watch. That's what you do with imaginations. Thus, the words used to reveal the knowledge and knowledge about oneself or to remove the ignorance convey nothing. It is a pity that the words have no place. Then what are you doing, sir, for so many pages? We are on page number 420, all full of words. we are so obstinate that we have to think, that we have to do, that we have to practice, that we have to do sadhana, that we have to realize. We have to understand the placements of these all. What is the correct placement of everything? What is the placement? Now, to a beginner, never these words will be told that knowledge and ignorance have got no meaning. They are important. We will never say that. To the beginner, we will say, no, you must remove ignorance and come to knowledge. See? And we must. It is only for that matured seeker who is able to access the silence. And now the final consummation, if we want to say that word. The last bit that needs to be removed is objectivity. See, what is the conditioning because of which the crystallization of consciousness as individuality is possible? Time, space, and objectivity. When our mind becomes single-pointed, time and space are taken care of. But on the seat of meditation, where you have gone beyond time and space, because you are free from your form, you have lost the sense of time, then only objectivity remains. And that objectivity for the ignorant ones, the ignorant seekers, it continues as, oh, there's nothing, there's only void. This is objectivity. You are uh, thinking of nothingness as an object. You're thinking of absence as an object. You're thinking of you want to realize the self as an object. It is not possible. This final adjustment, the one who has reached that point, one who's on the threshold, or for that person these words will have any meaning. Otherwise it will be just too many words. It's only words, words, words. Self is not without any words. And such people get frustrated by listening to such satsang or reading such texts, because the purification is not there. Just like a small child, if he is taught the university books, and in which class is he? He is in 6th, 7th, 8th. He can't understand. He'll put it away. Not ready for it. Just like when I was, jab hum jawan the, when I was young, when I was 22, 23 years old, studying in Switzerland, that time I got the Bhagavad Gita book from ISKCON. And oh, the picture was beautiful, and came home. And every now and then I would look at the picture, beautiful, but I used to want to know more. Gita is in my hand, and I want to know. And I used to just at random open some page. And when I used to open it, I used to able to read, not maybe in tune, but I was able to, because Hindi was there. I had the knowledge of Hindi. I could read the Sanskrit. And when I used to read the meaning, the mind used to become so confused, maap re. And it was like an instant sleeping pill exercise. The moment if I'm looking at the photograph, fantastic. I can keep looking at it for some time. But if I open the Bhagavad Gita book and I read 1 or 2 verses, before I have completed them, I have gone to sleep. This is my personal experience. And many times I tried. Maybe I was protected by God. That went on from when? From 1983 till 1995. 12 years. 12 years. Many times I opened the book, tried to study myself. 1 or 2 verses and I have gone to sleep. Whether I'm sitting, whether I'm lying in bed, whether I'm standing and walking and reading, I will eventually go to sleep. Maybe the Lord was protecting this mind. Then what? If I can't do that, then what do I do? Then I started doing pranayam and yoga and all that stuff. It started. Purification was required. That's why I could not hold it. That's why I could not understand it. That's why I could not dive into it. That's why I could not remain alert. And therefore, oh, it's too much. Boom, go to sleep. Instant. But today, 1.5 hours, we are talking about Amrutanubhava. And what are we talking about? To devalue the words, that words have got no meaning. And how are we doing it? By using so many words. What a transformation from 83 till today. Then this mind was naturally going to sleep, silence, okay, inert silence. Then it accessed meditation somewhere in between. But now, whether there is words or there is no words, it is not affected. And it has got the acumen now to talk on silence. Our retreat is going to be on silence, and I'm going to be talking about it. You have to remain silent. I am allowed to talk. And what am I talking on? Silence. Dakshinamurti. See the contradiction there. All these things, only when the mind is purified, they get sorted. Otherwise, we get hooked on to something. We remain hooked on to words, we remain hooked on to waking, we remain hooked on to sleep, we remain hooked on to samadhi abhyas, we may remain hooked on to some duty or role or something. In other words, we remain hooked onto the phenomena. It's a very fine operation, surgery. Initial stages, it is a very fine surgery to separate the changeless from the changing through words. Then come to the silence, and knowing that in the silence there is nothing called silence, there is only you thereafter. When is it thereafter? When the last word subsides. When the last word subsides, there alone, that very moment, the self reveals. It's not that the word subsides, then there is silence, and in silence the self will reveal. Don't create a distance. The moment the last word subsides, that moment you may call it silence. But I would prefer that the moment last word subsides, Om, where the Om subsides, then silence is not beginning. Then the self reveals there and then. If there is silence, then you are giving validity to nothingness. Because there is nothing called silence, there is nothing called absence, there is nothing called nothingness. There is nothing called ignorance. Just as from the sun's point of view, there is nothing called darkness. There is nothing called light also. For us, light means thoughts, knowledge, and ignorance means absence, void, no knowledge. Both. So we have to become convinced as a seeker first that we are that. What is our true status? So when we study this, only when our mind is purified, then these words which are of contradictory nature will start having some meaning. And what is the meaning? That words have no meaning, you are self-established. That the words cannot remove ignorance on one hand and cannot reveal the self on the other. Then why are we using the words if they are important in both the areas? That is a good question. Words are used so that from rajas from tamas, the other way. So that from rajas we come to sattva, and remaining in sattva, we reduce the impact of the thoughts by proper chanting, by proper japa, by proper contemplation, where initially at the word level, knowing fully well that these words cannot reveal anything. So this impact of the words is being reduced consciously. See. Then what will be your disposition? You will not be disturbed by the words. You will not be disturbed by the absence of the words. In other words, you will not be disturbed by the world. Why you will not be disturbed by the world? Because you are all that there is. And in that you are that.
Alert from low battery.
In that you, who is all that there is, in that you, who is all that there is, homogeneous mass of consciousness, on that the phenomena is projected, imagined, comes about. Nobody is creating a mirage. Nobody is creating the blueness of the sky. Nobody is creating the sunrise or the sunset. Nobody is creating the day or night. It is happening. That happening, another word for that happening is called phenomena. So on that you, who is all that there is nothing in this there is no place that you are not. You are pervading the space-time objectivity. In fact, you are all that there is, and space, time and objectivity is imagined on you, just as water is all that there is, and on it the ocean and the waves and the tsunamis and the froth and the bubbles are imagined. What you are seeing only water. But what are you calling it? By different names? Then why don't you call it water? Because your obsession is with the form. When we de-link ourselves from the form, for that this conviction that I am the formless, I am that all that there is. Yes, maybe we don't know, but that must be very clear, and we must be inspired by it, not afraid by it. Our fear is, what will happen to my children? What will happen to my wife? What will happen to the memories, such a beautiful memories of my children? In a moment of renunciation, before I went to the ashram, इतना वैराग्य हो गया था, तीव्र intense renunciation. And in that, I burnt away all the photographs that I had about myself. I burnt away, I had a dhuni outside. I burnt all my certificates. School certificate, year 12 certificate, university certificate, everything I burnt. I didn't want to do anything with my past. This is a long time ago, 95. Then you have to face the consequences. I went to India to do something. They said, where's your school certificate? I said, I don't have any school certificate. Then I said, I should not have done that, I could have just mentally decided I am not going to look at it, but I should have kept it, this, that. But it was too late. Be ready to face the consequence then. I did it physically, burning it away because it was troubling me. It was that moment When such moments come, either you renounce or you get attached. I renounced. You got married. Similar. Both events are equal and meaningless. See, both are phenomenal. But there is no value. Continuing. या शब्दाचा निमाला महाप्रळयो हो सरला अभ्रासवे गेला दुर्दीनो जैसा. With the disappearance of the thundering noise of the great deluge of words, all the miseries come to an end, just as the clearing of dark clouds on a bad day brings joy. Just as the breeze moves away the clouds and the full moon reveals itself, the warm sun reveals itself once the breeze takes away the dark clouds. Similarly, with the disappearance of the thundering noise of the great deluge of words, this is the roar of Vedanta. Roar of Vedanta, it is this deluge of words. It's so much words. When all this sound, where is the sound? Where does the sound get produced? Maximum sound is produced when the river is meeting the ocean. When the river is flowing, there is not much sound. In the ocean, there is not much sound. Where the river is meeting the ocean, is merging, there the maximum sound is. So we are at that juncture. So many words. They must disappear. The contemplation should be such, the japa should be such, the contemplation should be such. Every Sunday morning we sit for guided meditation, 10-15 minutes of words. Eventually, every Sunday morning, it leads to meditation. We don't continue speaking. It leads to silence. Sometimes it is 10 minutes, sometimes it is 20 minutes, sometimes it is half an hour, but it does not matter. It may continue also. So this satsang which is going on, so many words, but is it bringing you to the conscious silence that you are, in spite of the words that are coming to you? In spite of the words that are being uttered? Are you being that silence, the conscious silence? We are not talking about silence of the mind. We are talking about the silence which is transcendental to the mind. Therefore, the word for that silence is conscious silence. Chidakash is the conscious silence, which supports the Chittakash and the Bhutakash, but is undisturbed by the Bhutakash and Chittakash. Bhutakash, the gross space, Chittakash, the mental space. Chidakash, the conscious space. You are the conscious space. Conscious space is untouched, unaffected, unspecified, unaffected by the words or no words. With the disappearance of the thundering noise of the great deluge of words, all the miseries come to an end, just as the clearing of dark clouds on a bad day brings joy. Similarly, these words, yes, they may be thundering, they are roar of the scriptures, but what do? They remove your misconceptions about yourself. They act as a fresh breeze of words which eventually creates the screen free of the phenomena, where you can access yourself as you are. The place of words in the field of truth is summarized. When this terrible thundering noise of the word dies down, all miseries are removed, just as a gloomy day is over on the disappearance of the dark clouds. When one drops the words and goes beyond the truth is revealed. So we don't need so many words. As Jnaneshwar Maharaj has continuously said, chant Om, one word is enough. Drop the word. You drop one stone into the pond or the ocean, what happens? The moment the deeper the water, if it is a shallow pond, there will be many waves from that one piece of stone which is dropped. But if it is a deep ocean, you drop one small wave and it will die away. But in a pond, you put the same stone, one wave, then two wave, then three wave, depending upon its depth. So the deeper we go into ourselves, meaning the more purified our mind is, the more detached we are with everything. In that detached mind, we drop the stone of Om or our mantra. How many ripples will come? Depending upon how shallow you are, or how purified you are, or how less purified you are, or how more purified your mind is. The closer we are to the self, the more purified we are. Or the other way, the more purified we are, the closer we are to the self. The more purified we are, we put the Om, the stone, how many waves? Hardly any wave, just small one, and then we go into silence. But if we are shallow, even after so many words, there will be no silence. Even after so much understanding, still there will be no silence. Why? No purification, no depth, no subjective approach. Therefore, no impact. Therefore, more impact, not no impact, more impact by way of words. I'm not understanding. This is a bit too much. Why? Someone used to ask one question to Ramana Maharishi, and that question, Ramana Maharishi will sit in silence for hours. And here we read verse after verse, word after paragraph, and hopefully we are in silence. It leads us to silence. If not, correct yourself. In this way, Sant Jnaneshwara has valued the word in the correct perspective and presented its glory and its limitations most vividly. So, word has its positivity as well as its negativity. Positivity is when we take the word subjectively, it will silence us. But on the and what is its negative impact? That it keeps you in the loop, that it cannot reveal the self, that it cannot remove the ignorance. That is its shortcoming. वाग वैकरी शब्दधारी शास्त्र वैख्याना कौशलम वैद्युष्यम विदुषम तद्वद भुक्तये न तु मुक्तये. Loud speech is an avalanche of words. The efficiency in expounding or commenting upon the great textbook, Shastras, extreme erudition, these bring only a little joyous material satisfaction to the scholar. these are inadequate for total liberation. Huh? If we are addicted to speaking, if we are addicted to talking, we are addicted to, oh, I see how much I know, and I give satsangs every day, and I have talked on Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads and Amrutanubhava and Panchadashi and this and Yoga Sutra and Bhagavatam and this and that. Oh, it's so much. What are you showing? You're only expressing your foolishness, that even after so many scriptures, still you have not become silent. This is our lot. We have to go beyond the scriptures. We have to go beyond the word. Scriptures are nothing but words. And for that, the most effective exercise of purification of going beyond the word is japa sadhana. And do japa on what? Do it on Om. Why? Because Om includes all the alphabets. And what is the sadhana? That the gross Om must migrate to subtle Om, and that in turn must, and when it becomes silent, that subtle Om becomes silent, instead of going into silence, you come to be. Don't go into the silence. If you go into silence, it is deep sleep. In that very moment, you remain awake when the Om concludes. Then you are in Samadhi, then you are in Para. If you focus on silence, then you are in Pashyanti. Pashyanti means deep sleep. If you are awake in Pashyanti, then there is no Pashyanti. Then immediately, straight away from Madhyama, you migrate to Para. But if you give validity to silence, then you will go into Pashyanti. So in this way, with all this understanding about the word, we must contemplate, we must listen to the scriptures, we must attend the satsang, we must do our practices with this understanding. And where is all this going on? Most of the time you are talking to yourself in your mind. So we must correct our approach. And with this, we have concluded this Shabda Khandana, devaluation of a word. First we devalued Satchidananda, now we have devalued the word. Now next chapter will be devaluing of ignorance. Does Jnaneshwar Maharaj not stop? Why is he using so many words to devalue everything? We understood. You understood, but not completely. He has to rub it in. The more we interact with it, with these words, to that extent we will understand the ephemeral nature of this creation, of the word, of our mind. We take our mind to be too real. Until we take it real, we must continue interacting with such words of great masters, with the scriptures. We'll conclude here today with this thought. Next week we'll look at the summary. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Just sit quietly for a few moments. There's still time.